Hi gang, this is a super quick video on how I've been using OneNote to keep my thoughts organized and help me write sections of my most recent paper. This is a bit of a difference in technique from the way I've been doing it for many years, and I found that it just made things much easier. So I wanted to share it with everybody. So I'm going to switch to OneNote. So this is the OneNote app. It's also, you can also use it in a browser. If you're using the app on your computer, it syncs up to Microsoft Office 365. So everything is online. You can access it wherever you are if you don't have your laptop with you. The kind of layout of OneNote is that you have all these notebooks. The work notebook is my main notebook. And then I've had notebooks for my meteorology class that actually all the students had individual folders in. And that was really useful. And then Victoria at Old Dominion University seems to be like the default first one they give you. So if you log in, it may well come up with one like that for yourself. So I'm just going to go into my work notebook. There are sections within the notebook. That's down here. And you see I have sections for different things. A to-do list, the recent paper I was working on, our Seagrass project, and so on. And you just add new sections. Within each section, you can put pages, and add them down here. So in my to-do list, I have my kind of main page, my to-do, do this stuff. And then I just have different little text boxes for each of my classes or my projects. And then I have a box here where I put the things I'm going to try and work on today, or that are really important to try and keep at the forefront of my mind. And then I have various other pages within my to-do list. But I just want to show you how I used it to keep my thoughts organized for my buoy paper that I'm writing. So this is the section for that. What is really nice is that you can have a page and you can add a PDF to each page. So my methodology has been add a page, okay, go to insert, print out. And then I insert the most recent PDF that I found. So this is one actually by Glenn Cotter. It inputs the PDF, and you can see it here at each page. It will have each page out. It will put the title of the page as the name of your PDF, but you could change it to anything that you want if that name isn't enough for you to kind of trigger your memory. If you right click on the first page of the PDF and go to set picture as background, you now can draw on the PDF. So you just go up to draw. If you have a write on screen, obviously use the pen. With the mouse, you just go to this little hand thingy I want to draw with my mouse. And then you can highlight things, right? You could write using the pen here. Or you could write a little text box. So you go to text and you write like there's some good stuff here. So what I do is I go in and I kind of highlight the bits in the paper that are what I want. Maybe write some notes down the side. And then I have one page that is my notes for me to write my introduction. And this is where I think it gets really useful, is that I have all these different sections that I wanted to talk about in my introduction. One of them is what happens to ice algae. Okay, so for example, one paper I went and looked at, and it said that they've seen aggregates floating in the meltwater layer. It's kind of in this picnic line. It's likely important for food, and it comes from that information comes from this paper, ASME 2013. And then click on this link, and it takes me to that page that I put that paper into. So it's really nice because you could keep notes and you're linking the note back to your PDF. So if I'm like, okay, well, what exactly was that? I didn't write good enough notes, I can go and check it. And I'm not kind of trying to remember where it was or which page it was because it's linked to it. And the way that you do this linking is you just go to the page that has the PDF that you're interested in, you right click and you say copy link to page. And then you go up to the notes and then just make a new line and paste it. And now when I click on that link, it will take me to that PDF. But I think that this is a really useful way for keeping track of all the notes that you are getting from your PDF pages, all the PDFs you have. And the nice thing about OneNote is your page could be as big as you want. You know, so you can go down, you can go out, you do anything you want. You can insert pictures. It doesn't have to just be a PDF. So you can see these are the results from the modeling that I did. And I put each kind of result graph in, and then I could kind of comment on it so that I had those notes for later, because otherwise sometimes I end up with all of these kind of exported graphs of my models, and then I can't remember which was which, or why did I not go with that one or something. So I can kind of write notes to keep track of that. And so to insert, you know, pictures, you just go to insert, obviously picture. You can also insert audio, online video, you know, multiple things. I think that the inserting PDFs of pictures is the most useful thing for me. And then the other thing is that if you have, let me see, I'll just bring up the internet. So OneNote will has a little you know, app that links with your browser, and so it's up here, and you just have to, you know, log in, and then it knows who you are. So all I would do is say I have been on like Google Scholar, and I'm like, oh, okay, low light adapted ice algae in the Arctic. Here's the Glenn's paper. So I can click on that. Oh, page unavailable. I remember now. It's quite old. I had to go to all 5 versions. Here we go. So I go to that paper. Oh, this looks interesting. I could either just download the PDF and just pull it straight into OneNote and take a look and read it, or if you want, you can go up to the OneNote clip thing. And you could just quickly clip it. You could do the full page, you could just select a region, you could tell it it's an article, and it kind of just puts it into text. And then you can make sure that you go and you put it in, you know, whichever notebook and section that you want to put it in. I think this is useful because sometimes as you're kind of searching Google Scholar, sometimes you see things you might be interested in. You could just quickly grab that kind of snippet of that page and put it into OneNote, so that when you actually go back and you're writing, you're not losing these papers that you kind of saw along the way, but you weren't ready to write yet, so you didn't download it or read it properly. You just kind of skimmed it. So it's a good way, I think, of keeping track of you know, papers that you might be interested in. I also do it when I get the contents emails for the latest journals. If I see something I think, oh, that looks like an interesting title, I don't necessarily have time to read it, but normally I'll just clip it and throw it in OneNote, maybe under a particular project, because I'm thinking, well, actually when I come to write the introduction, that might be useful. So that is how I use OneNote. If you're interested and you have more questions, you know, we can definitely chat more. I think it's a useful technique. It's new for me to do it that way, and I found it really helpful and really organized my thoughts well. I think next time I will actually do a notebook just for the paper instead of having it within a section in my work notebook, and then I can have a section, maybe introduction, methods, results, discussion, and then within those sections you could have pages, so you could kind of link everything that you're working on through OneNote. For example, you know, you could be writing notes for your discussion, and you could just stick a quick link in there to the page that has the graph you're thinking about or something, so that you kind of keep your stuff organized. So there you go. I think it's a useful tool. If you haven't looked at it, maybe consider doing that.